I'm about to share with you my top picks in the gardening category for prime big day deals. I'll be talking through a variety of products that I've used myself that range from hoses to raised beds to tools. Let's get right into it. The first deal I want to talk about is the Vego Garden 17-inch tall 9-in-1 Classic Collection raised garden bed. Right now you can get it on Amazon for $143, but if you go to the Vego Garden website, it's listed as $159 right now. Now I've configured mine into the 2-foot by 8-foot configuration, and I put it right up against my fence, and there's plenty of space for lots of vegetables. If you check out some of my previous videos of my garden tours, you can see just how full I've made this in the past. Vego Garden makes a fantastic raised bed product, and I would highly recommend it. I personally went with the Vego Garden raised beds because of how high quality I believe the product is. The material is safe for growing vegetables, and it's made to last. This raised bed will last 20 years, and I can reconfigure it and move it as many times as I want, although I will say it's a pain to move it, but I love that it's modular and you have that ability. This is the olive green color. There's also a terracotta, a sky blue, there's a dark gray, and even a dark green if you're interested in that. Some of the colors are even cheaper than this one, so take a look at the listing and see what you like. The next product I want to talk about is this Giraffe Tools retractable hose. Let me point out a few things. Number one, yes, these are hurricane shutters. I'm over in Melbourne, Florida, and Hurricane Milton is on the way. Prayers for everybody in the path, especially on the west coast of Florida. We're fortunate enough to be on the east coast of Florida, so it should be a Cat 1 or 2 by the time it gets to us. So we're taking our precautions and we're shuttering up our windows, and I hope you guys are doing the same. Now this Giraffe Tools hose, I'll put a link in the description box below to the exact product that this one is. I want to point out a couple of things. This one is 130 feet long, and I bought it on Black Friday last year for the exact same price that it is today, which I think is $137. And one of the things I was concerned about was the hose diameter and the connection actually diameter, because it wasn't clear to me on the listing. But this is just a standard hose connection, even though the hose itself is a smaller diameter. And this is the hose end attachment that comes with the product, and it works really well. Highly recommend. One of my favorite things about this product is actually their warranty. I bought a second one of these that was 155 feet long for my front yard, and within a couple months we had broke something with it and it would no longer retract. So I had bought it on Amazon, and I reached out to their customer service and they sent me a brand new one free of charge. Let's talk about how I have it mounted and some other options if you're interested in doing it differently than me. So when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, there's basically like a 4-foot square option for a wooden post, or a 6-foot square option for a wooden post. And I followed the instructions of the bracket. This one in particular needed bigger than a 4-inch square post, so we went with a 6-inch post. And we actually cut it in half, and we put one of the hoses in the backyard on this post, and then we did the same thing in the front yard. Now you could also mount it directly to the side of your house. This part right here I think is called the leader hose, and this is limited in size, and you want to mount it in a spot where you can actually rotate the hose completely without binding up this leader hose. So keep that in mind if you're looking at this product, but I do love it. It keeps everything really nice and neat, and I just pull it out whenever I'm ready to water something. The next product I want to talk about has to do with organization. This is called the Keter Deck 150-gallon storage deck box, and if you're anything like me, you're always going to need a spot to put all of the products that you buy for the garden. Let me give you a brief view on the inside of how I assembled it and how much fits on the interior. Right now you can buy this exact deck box for only $185, and now I feel like a doofus because I looked back at my order history and I bought it for $250. So this is a really good deal. Think about taking advantage of this one. Now I know it's not the most organized thing, but we had to get everything in here to prep for the hurricane. But anyway, take a look. See these bolts right here? Basically when you're assembling it, you're putting together this frame, and then you're putting together these panels as well. And then if you take a look at the lid right where Mason is standing, you can see the mechanism for the hinge and how it stays propped open. It closes really securely and it stays upright. And now I'm able to fit a whole bunch of stuff in here. You can see my giant bag of like Easy Straw mulch is standing upright back there. I've got my Vego Garden seed starting cells and trays in there. I've got lots of other gardening accessories like my seed starting square, or my seating square, my watering pail. On the outside, let me point out a few things. The first is the material. It's really nice. It has a little bit of a texture to it. You can just spray it off with a hose to clean it. Right here, you could actually put a lock on it as well if you needed to secure what's in it. The next two products are from a company called Barebones Living. I'm actually really impressed with Barebones. I like that they seem to have like a nice style along with really high quality products. These are the artisan shears that I use in the garden. I've had these for over a year now. They do rust sometimes. I've just recently published a video about how to clean these rusty tools with these exact shears. So I'll put a link to that video right here if you want to check it out. But I'm very confident that these shears are going to last a long time. The shears are listed right now as $19 when they're normally like $25. Another one of their products that's on sale right now is the small hand shovel or hand trowel. If you're gardening, you're gonna need a hand shovel, and I just highly recommend Barebones. I think they have a great stylistic aspect to their products, and they're all really high quality. So I expect my Barebones tools to last a really long time, if not my whole lifetime. And the hand trowel is listed for $20 when it's normally $24. The next product is very cheap and very useful. It's these little plastic plant clips. This is how I attach my plants to something like this diamond trellis back here. Now this diamond trellis is not available right now, but if you're interested in it, I'll put a link to it anyway in the description box, and maybe it'll come back in stock. Right now, you can get 200 of these for about $9. And I use these all the time, and they're reusable until they break. Bamboo stakes are also something that I use constantly in the garden. I thought my garden would be too full if I had tomato cage next to tomato cage. So I did a tomato cage next to a bamboo stake, and I used the plant clips to attach the jalapeno plant to the bamboo stake. Right now, you can get 25 pieces of 4-foot long bamboo stakes for only $16 when they're normally $25. So if you don't have any bamboo stakes, I highly recommend getting some. I use them all the time. Sometimes you can even break them in half if you need them in a smaller size. The next product that I recommend, I've already bought it twice actually. It's a 6-pack of these terracotta watering spikes. In here you can see there's a terracotta watering spike. I'll have to fill that back up. And what this does is basically it helps you control the flow of the water out of your wine bottle. If you're looking for an excuse to drink more wine, I would buy the 6-pack of these terracotta watering spikes, and then obviously you're gonna need 6 wine bottles to fill up with water and put them in your garden. This is how I keep my mint watered on my lanai on top of my outside table, and it works really well. I also have a pothos on the front porch where I use it, and even an indoor ficus tree that I use it on, and it works really well. Right now you can get the 6-pack of the terracotta watering spikes for only $18 when they're normally $23. So I know everybody doesn't want to look at wine bottles upside down everywhere. So if you're looking for a watering system like that without the wine bottles, consider buying these watering Ollas. Right now you can get a 2-pack for only $25 when the original price is normally $35. Let me show you how it works. Right here I've got this resin planter where I've planted chives and oregano. These are recently transplanted, so I think the oregano probably needs a little more time to settle, but the chives are still happy. But I want to point out that this is a watering olla, and all I have to do to water it is open this silicone cover, fill it up with water, and cover that back up, and probably check that every 4 days. The way that it works is the plant roots will grow towards that watering olla and actually adhere to the side of the watering olla. And the terracotta clay is porous, and so the water actually slowly seeps out of that terracotta clay pot and keeps the soil moist, just wet enough for what the plants need. It's one of my favorite ways for watering in a planter, so definitely check that out if you haven't tried an olla before. Now, if you're interested in doing some indoor seed starting, I highly recommend getting a grow light. Let me show you the one that I bought that you can get right now for 20 bucks instead of 28. I actually just recently bought 2 of them. And what I love about this is that there's 2 arms on each one. You can move them, adjust them down when the seedlings are really young, adjust them up. And there's 2 sides, so I can fit it across a 10 by 20 seed tray. And this is the stand. I wanted one with a stand so that I didn't have to commit to doing some under cabinet grow lights, since I have some other plans for an indoor seed starting area. But if you don't want the stand, you can actually take this off. It just screws off, and then you have this stake actually right here. And you put that on there, and you can actually put it directly into the soil of your pot. So it gives you two different methods of using it. And along with that, there is this control. So it's a built-in timer, which was another feature that I was looking for a grow light, because I'm not going to be the person that remembers to turn it on at 7 a.m. and turn it off at 7 p.m. So you can set it up for 4 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours, and you can also adjust the brightness. See how it's changing and getting darker or getting lighter. And you can actually change the light mode. There's different colors, like I don't know, one's like more yellow, one's more clear, one's more like reddish purplish. There's lots of different settings to play with, and I've had these plants going now for about a month. They're ready to go in the garden. The only reason I haven't put them in the garden this week is because of Hurricane Milton. Let me know in the comments if you're planning on buying any of those, and if you're buying anything else that you want to make me aware of, please put that in the comments below. After I finish prepping the house for the hurricane, you can bet I'm going to Amazon and doing a little shopping today. See you guys next time.